We'll head into the soil moisture analysis tab. We'll go ahead and look at the different probes that we've got in the certain blocks. I'll go ahead and click on the olives block. All right. So what we have here, similar to all the other irrigation analysis tabs, weather tabs, we have the time selector up top, settings on the right, and then the charts for data right in the middle. What we're looking at here is where the most water is currently in the field. Also, if we need to expand this, you can totally do that. It's not a problem. So we're looking at about 42 inches total in depth. If we click these off, it'll give us a better visualization of where the water is. So the most we have in inches is at 10 inches. If we wanted to see penetration rates in the water, if we wanted to see penetration rates in the soil, you can go ahead and click on this stack button. So now it's giving us a breakdown from 6 inches all the way down to 30. If you want to click back with 34, 38, and 42, you can do so. Over here on the right-hand side, we're only looking at about 26 to 30 inches. So we can see the irrigation started here. It went down, penetrated through. We also have it correlating with this chart right below it. So it's totalizing all of these depths and giving you a reading based from here. So up to 26 inches is where he's looking at for the olives, basically saying that he can go, if we scroll and zoom, he's irrigating, waiting 1 day, irrigating again, waiting another day, irrigating again. Reset the zoom. Right here we have our settings. So what this is going to do is it's going to relay on the map whether you're good, you're in the green, or that you've stressed too much and now you're at your maximum wilting point, or that you're up here and you're basically very saturated, which is common after the irrigations, or it could also suggest that you are ponding. If there's a lot of water that's contained up here at 6 inches and you see that it's not draining, then you can know that we have some ponding, as well as it'll signify it right here if it gets above this blue line. So we have it set at 5.73, 3, 2, and then 1.95. You make it to where we have these critical points so that we can keep within a certain area before getting down to the red, which is our wilting point, which for some crops is unable to be recovered from when it's already gotten down that bad. I can show you an example of this if we click on the map. So let's go back to the map. We can see that we were in the green there. If we click on soil moisture, zoom in again. This is that olive scheduled area. We can see that we're looking adequate right now. Everything's good to go. Scroll down and we can see that we're in the green. Click back to soil moisture. If we needed to add more depths as the season continues and the root zones penetrate a little bit deeper, we can go ahead and start adding these. This way you'd be able to edit your maximum, your critical points, to move them all up, since you're going to be having to apply more water to penetrate water deeper throughout the soil to reach those deeper roots. But for now, we'll leave them how they are. These are all correlating with irrigations. So if you look right here, this blue highlight behind the soil moisture graph will identify the correlating irrigation. You click on it, it'll give you when it was. So on the 8th, 6 a.m., ended at 12 a.m. Here's the average flow, and here's a link. We can click the link. It'll send us right to that irrigation. We can see it on the Gantt chart. We can see what was scheduled. Everything was sent to the network. It was executed okay. It was a duration type of irrigation. So they're setting it by how many hours you'd like to irrigate, from 6 to midnight. So we can see here, we have the flow off the main pipe. We have the filter after the filter station. And then we have the blue dotted line, which is going to be our theoretical flow. Here we can see all of the irrigation statistics. So how many gallons, how long it ran, flow, the average pressure, and the volumetric differences, and what actually happened in the field. From here, we can also look at the data summary. If we're clicking on 1 month of data, then you're going to see 1 month of data change right here in the data summary. So it's accumulating how many inches on average were in the soil during this 1 month. That will also pertain to this data table here. So for the entire month of May up until today, it's giving us a breakdown each day of average soil moisture throughout all the depths. You can export this to Excel. You can blow it up to view it a little bit longer. We can also change the different times. So if we click back to 2 weeks, you'll see now that this went from 2 pages to only 1. Click out of here. Now we have the logs. So let's say if we wanted to create a new comment, and we can do it here to explain why we maybe didn't irrigate through here. Comment. During this time, we can see that we had some rainfall, so maybe we didn't irrigate and we were staying within our limit, or we found out we could wait more days until our critical point to where we can irrigate again. So we're basically irrigating off this 3, got a little bit below, and then irrigated again today. I can see that comment I just posted right down here, last late season rain. As a different user, you can answer it, but as the creator, you can edit, delete, answer as well to explain further. For now, I'm just going to delete this. The alert and soil moisture is going to be particular to soil moisture variables. So we'll look at soil moisture or added soil moistures. So let's say at the 26-inch depth or added soil moisture depth, a high you didn't want to get above 5.73. Here, maximum's 5.73. I want to get an alert for that so that I know to either kick off the pump or that I don't need to irrigate for another few days. You can do it after the first occurrence if it hits right up there, or maybe it gets a false reading and you want it to read again after 5 minutes, then it'll send you either an email, a text message, or a robocall. You can choose anyone's name, email, and phone number. If they don't have it here, you can just type it in the other addresses section. Use the column separator to enter how many other names that you'd like. You can click Save. Now you're going to have this added soil moistures variable to not get over 5.73 before it'll send you an alarm. As a user, I can come in and say if this was too high or if it's too low, I can edit, or I can just go ahead and delete the alert. Chart below this is going to be correlating also with irrigations. So we'll have the irrigations. You can do the same exact thing. You can click on them to view the detail. We have them compared side by side with evapotranspiration as well as rainfall. You can turn all of these off. If you wanted to just see irrigation. You also do have the ability to just come in here and drag This won't save unless I click the actual save button. But you can come in here, play with the different variables and see where everything's at. If I wanted to click on Normalize, from here you can basically adjust based on your soil type of how much available water is in the soil and at your field capacity, to where it's almost oversaturated and to the point where it can't have any more, whereas you have your holding capacity where you have available water in the middle of the soil before it goes down to that wilting point. This is all different based on the soil type you have. Of course, the available water is going to be higher if you have a clay or silt versus a sandy loam, where it's going to be running through the soil a lot easier, where in the clay or the silt, it's going to be holding a lot more moisture for a lot longer. Same thing up here, I can look at different dates. You can click on May, April, wherever you want to go look back, as well as whichever year you'd like to. You can go ahead and view your historic data right through this chart as well. If you want to look at averages, you can look at adding markers. Add a marker here, and add a marker here. So from May 13th, averages throughout the soil here. You can also look at maximums and minimums. Same thing with accumulated rainfall, as well as the added soil moistures graph. You can look at the accumulated, minimum, maximum, or even the averages. To take these off, you just got to click this button here. If you want to hide your irrigations, you can just look at soil moisture, so there's nothing confusing there. You can go ahead and do that. If you want to turn them back on, it's as easy as just clicking this button here.